All right, this is Dr. Michael Mueller, and today we are going to go down the rabbit hole, right? And talk about the top 5 peptides for longevity. Yes, you heard me correctly. The top 5 peptides that could literally help you to live a longer and better life. And we're going to start with number one, right? And that first peptide is Epitalon, Epitalon. And this one is special for several reasons. And we're going to talk about 5 things that Epitalon does that could help you to live longer. And the number one thing that it does that no other peptide can do is it literally helps to slow down cellular aging by protecting the telomeres on your DNA. And what is a telomere? Well, every DNA strand has a cap on the end, and that cap protects the DNA from damage. That cap is called a telomere. And the studies have shown that in both humans and animals, as a telomere shortens, the length and the health of a DNA strand will decline. So the data has shown that by elongating telomeres, you can make a DNA strand healthier. And by doing that, you can improve cellular health and improve the health of the animal or person. So telomere lengthening is big in the longevity space, and there's only a few things that can help with that. And Epitalon is a peptide that can lengthen your telomeres, and by doing that, hypothetically, it can lengthen your life. So telomere extension is one modality by which Epitalon works. And the other thing it helps with is the circadian rhythm. And what is that? Well, that's the sleep-wake cycle, right? And in your brain, you have this little gland called the pineal gland, and it helps regulate the circadian rhythm or the sleep-wake cycle. And as we get older, the pineal gland kind of becomes less healthy, doesn't work as well, and we start to have sleep breakdown and sleep disorders that basically present as poor sleep. And by helping to restore the pineal gland's health, the Epitalon peptide can help to restore deep and restful sleep. And I always say on my channel, if you want to live longer, folks, you have to sleep better. Mental health, psychological health, physical health, all of that requires deep and restful sleep. So if you've missed my other videos on Epitalon, you should check it out. But Epitalon is our number one peptide for longevity, and that's why we're discussing it on this video. It also helps with endocrine balance. And what does that mean? Well, it helps resynchronize the hormonal ecosystem. So things like testosterone and estrogen and progesterone will be optimized to help you live a better life. And Epitalon also helps protect against oxidative damage. And I say on my channel all the time that oxidative damage is kind of like rust on cells, right? If you leave a car outside for 50 years, it'll rust away. Well, if you have a cell and it's lived a long, healthy life, it's also going to be damaged by oxidation. So that healthy cell becomes less healthy, and a less healthy cell leads to pathology. And pathology causes the human being to literally break down, and that's when we see the signs of aging. And Epitalon helps to prevent the oxidative damage that occurs within cells, and by doing this, it extends the life of a cell, and that is how it helps with longevity. So it boosts the internal antioxidant enzymes that protect the cells, and by doing that, it can help extend your life. Two other things do that, SOD and glutathione, and I like those for cellular health also. And if you do watch my channel enough, you'll know that I am a huge fan of glutathione. It also helps with vision. Yes, Epitalon helps with vision, and there's some data to show that it helps with retinal health and it prevents age-related vision decline. So number one on the list is Epitalon, folks, and I love that one. That's why I've made other videos about it, so please check those out. Also, folks, never forget, I am a physician. I'm a Mayo Clinic trained family physician, but I'm not your physician. So all of this is for education and entertainment only. If you need any medical help, please talk to your medical doctor and they can help you with any medical issues. And before starting any peptide, you should talk to a physician or some other medical provider. So number one on the list was Epitalon, and it's a good one. But number two is GHK-Cu, which is GHK copper. And if you've watched my videos on GHK copper, you will know that it is a wonderful peptide for hair health, okay? Now, I know you're looking at me and saying, how could he be talking about hair health? Well, I'm quite knowledgeable on hair health, and GHK copper does help restore hair. It helps with hair growth, and it helps with skin. It's wonderful for skin, healthy skin. It's wonderful for helping collagen and for just kind of maintaining the youthfulness of skin. And some people say that GHK copper is kind of like a Botox in a bottle. And I've made a video on that, so please check it out if you've missed it. But the benefits of GHK copper go well beyond skin health and hair health. In fact, if you look at it, GHK copper influences over 4,000 genes, and it can shift these genes from an aging type of state to a more youthful state. Now, that is a video that could go on and on and on, but for the sake of today's discussion, it literally can help to reset 4,000 human genes and help push them into more of a youthful state. Also, it helps to prevent fibrosis. Now, as a family physician, I've seen fibrosis in the lungs, I've seen fibrosis in the liver, and various other internal organs like the heart. And fibrosis is never good. It causes a lot of dysfunction in whatever organ it occurs, and it's just bad from an aging perspective. And what GHK copper does is it helps to prevent the fibrosis and scarring that can damage internal organs. So that is how it can help you to live longer. It also helps with stem cells, right? Stem cells have been all the rage for the past few years, and the data shows that GHK copper can increase the proliferation of keratinocytes, and fibroblasts, and this helps with tissue regeneration. It's early, folks. I'm making this video and I just go right off the cuff. I don't really cut in or cut out portions. I just talk and go. So sorry about those mispronunciations. But by doing that, by helping to support the proliferation of keratinocytes and fibroblasts, it helps with skin tissue regeneration and tissue generation in general throughout the body. And nerve regeneration, folks, this one's important because I get a lot of patients who suffer from neuropathy and other neural and neurologic dysfunctions. And the data has shown that GHK copper can help with nerve regeneration by supporting NGF, which is nerve growth factor, which helps in the brain, and it helps peripherally in the body to prevent neuropathy. So it helps with youthful gene resetting. It helps prevent fibrosis. It helps with stem cell support. It helps with nerve regeneration. And it also helps with collagen and elastin. And this is how it helps the skin to look younger. So I'm a big fan of GHK copper, as I am Epitalon. And those are number 1 and number 2 on the list. Now, number 3, folks, I like this one. In fact, I really like it. And it's MOTS-c. That is MOTS-c. And I have mentioned this one before. I've made a great video on mitochondrial health. If you missed that, please check it out. But what MOTS-c does is it helps within the mitochondria to kind of get the mitochondria to act more efficiently under times of stress. And some people call MOTS-c exercise in a vial, because what it does is it simulates a reaction in your body after you take the injection that is similar to a reaction you get after exercise. And folks, if you want to live longer, if you want to have a healthier life, you just can't take peptides alone. You have to do healthy things. And I'm a big fan of exercise. In fact, I've exercised my whole life. I love exercise. It's addictive and it's good. And if you don't exercise, you should. And walking is wonderful, running is wonderful, and swimming is wonderful. But don't forget, folks, we need to do weight resistance exercise, because all of the data shows if you want to live longer, you have to maintain muscle mass. So exercise is good. It helps with cellular repair also. But MOTS-c basically is a peptide that will cause your body to respond as if it is responding to exercise. And typically, any effect of exercise is going to be good for your body. And it improves insulin sensitivity, which means it allows your body to process glucose better. And by doing this, it reduces your risk for metabolic syndrome, which is bad for everything in your body. and it's just terrible for your health overall. It also helps with muscle homeostasis, and it acts as a myostatin inhibitor, and this prevents muscle loss as we age. If you missed my video on follistatin recently, you should check that out because that also acts as a myostatin inhibitor. Myostatin, folks, as we age, breaks down your muscles. It doesn't allow your muscles to recover from exercise like they did when you were younger. And by inhibiting myostatin, MOTS-c helps your muscles to not only maintain muscle mass, but to recover after exercise to help you build muscle mass, right? And that's why we need to work out. That's why we need to walk, because not only do we want to maintain muscle, but we want to increase muscle if possible as we age. MOTS-c also helps with mitochondrial biogenesis. And what this does is it allows your cells to create new engines to produce energy, meaning MOTS-c will help your body to produce mitochondria that are more efficient at producing ATP. It also helps with fat oxidation. And what's that? Well, I hate body fat, and you should too, because it's just bad for us. But what MOTS-c does is it helps your body to turn bad fat into good fat, and then that good fat can be used for calories. And when your body is burning fat for calories, that process is called lipolysis, Lipolysis, and that occurs most often during ketosis. And that's a thing that goes on when you're dieting and doing things to lose weight. But MOTS-c will help promote that process, so your body will burn fat for calories and you will lose weight. And the good news is that is bad weight because it is fat weight. The other thing it does that is especially important for women is it helps your body to maintain bone density, right? As we age, especially women will lose bone density, they'll have bone loss, and this makes them susceptible for fractures and osteoporosis, and MOTS-c may help prevent that from occurring. So I'm a big fan of MOTS-c. I'm a big fan of GHK-Copper and Epitalon, and number 4 on the list, folks, is SS-31. Elamitide, Elamitide. And this one, like MOTS-c, works at the level of the mitochondria to help the mitochondria function better. In fact, what it does is it kind of stabilizes the anatomy or the architecture of the mitochondria. And by stabilizing it and kind of having a youthful effect on it, it helps it to be more efficient so it can produce more ATP. What it does is it helps stabilize cardiolipin, which protects the inner mitochondrial membrane, and this allows the mitochondria to be more efficient when making ATP, which is the energy on which our cells run. It also helps with kind of the oxidative damage that occurs within cells, the cellular rust. It helps prevent that, and it also helps protect the heart during problems with stress or oxygen deprivation, meaning if you have heart disease or if you've had a heart attack or if you have some other pathology of your heart, this can help prevent the damage that occurs and maybe restore any prior damage that has occurred. So it protects the heart, it protects the cells, it protects the mitochondria, but it also protects the nerves. And brain health is extremely important, folks. And SS31 does cross the blood-brain barrier. And in the brain itself, it helps to protect the neurons from oxidative damage, right? And even oxidative death. So it helps the body, it helps the heart, it helps the brain, and it helps your body to make energy more efficiently. So it also helps with ATP optimization, meaning it's going to help your body use the ATP that it makes more efficiently. And this helps areas like the brain and the heart, where at times there can be a high demand for ATP. So we love peptides, folks. And as I said, SS31 is great, MOTS-c is great, GHK-Copper is great, and of course, Epitalon is great. But last but not least on the list is Thymosin alpha 1. And this one, folks, this one is really important for the immune system, right? It helps with T cell maturation, and it trains the T cells in the immune system to identify threats and take care of them. And what are the threats to the body or the immune system? Well, viruses, right? We know all about viruses. They've been in the news for the past couple of years. but the T cells will attack viruses. The T cells will attack cancers early, and thymosin alpha 1 helps to make the T cells work a little better. Also, when your cells go bad in the body, it's called senescence, right? And when a senescent cell is floating around and not doing its job, it releases toxins that can affect other cells. And thymosin alpha 1 allows your body to clean up the damaged or senescent cells, getting rid of any potential negative effects that they cause to healthy cells. And by doing this, it can improve your overall health and your longevity. So it also helps with autoimmune balancing, meaning it'll stimulate your immune system to fight the bad guys, but it will suppress your immune system from doing things to healthy cells, right? Autoimmune disease, people with rheumatoid arthritis, people with other autoimmune disorders, what happens with them is the body's immune system attacks good cells. And hypothetically, thymosin alpha 1 will prevent that from occurring. So it allows your body's immune system to attack the bad guys, but it prevents your immune system from attacking the good guys. So it helps with autoimmune balancing, and it helps with vaccine and defense priming, meaning it'll help your body to kind of identify the bad things like viruses and to attack them more efficiently. So I love thymosin alpha 1. We talked about SS31. We talked about MOTS-c. We talked about GHK-copper and Epitalon, but there is one peptide left, and this is the special peptide I was holding for the end of the video, because this isn't just one peptide, it is several peptides, and these peptides are the GLP-1s, right? We have Wegovy, Ozempic, Mounjaro. The generic names for these are tirzepatide, right? Semaglutide, and now we have retatrutide. And these things, folks, are normally used for weight loss. In fact, that's where they get most of their attention. But as a longevity doctor, as a doctor who does his best to help folks live a longer and better life, I use these in my clinic not just for weight loss, but to protect people from all types of dangerous medical issues. In fact, if you look at the data, okay, these medicines are neuroprotective. In fact, they potentially could give you a 30 to 40% reduction in the risk for dementia and Alzheimer's by clearing amyloid plaques. They also help protect your heart. Data has shown that by using the GLP-1s, you can reduce your risk for a heart attack or some other major cardiac event by up to 20%. And this is all independent of weight loss. They also help to protect the kidneys. On my channel, if you follow me, you know I hate visceral fat, and I've made videos on how toxic it is. Visceral fat is horrible for your body. It's horrible for you. And these medications help to break down visceral fat and get rid of it. And by doing that, they help lower your risk for all types of negative things, especially diseases that can result from an excess of visceral fat. They also, in some weird way, basically help to reduce oxidative stress throughout the body. And the data has shown that if you use these medications for a certain amount of time, they can help to stabilize insulin, they can reduce liver oxidative stress, and they can reset your metabolic age by up to 10 to 15 years. Meaning if you currently have a metabolic age of 60, after taking GLP-1s for a specific amount of time, you could lower your metabolic age from 60 to 50 or even 45. So I'm a big fan of the GLP-1s, and that's why I wanted to include them in this list. I don't even look at these things as weight loss meds. They're longevity meds, they're anti-aging meds, and they're just absolutely beautiful in my mind. So in my clinic, we use them for more than weight loss. We've used all of these peptides in the past, and we do intend to use many of these peptides in the future. But as I have always said in all of my videos, a lot of these peptides are kind of early. Some have had studies done, some haven't. So be sure that if you're ever going to use a peptide, talk to a doctor, talk to a longevity specialist, and sit with them and have them go through your health history and have them help you to decide which peptides are best. You just don't want to go online and start buying peptides hand over fist, right? You want to be wise, you want to be patient, and you want to find the peptides that will specifically do the things that will help you medically. So folks, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit the like button and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. I'll be back at you soon with another video. I appreciate you listening. Bye.